Hello and welcome to a special edition of the ChapterSkip Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Chad.
I'm Mark.
I'm Joe.
And welcome along to volume 30 of the podcast. This week we're going to discuss the movie that's just come out on VOD. It's the ABCs of Death 2. Think of this as almost like a spoiler cast. We're going to go through each letter of the alphabet, each mini movie, and give our thoughts and opinions and review them as we go along. If you'd like to tune in on the social media thing, you can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/ChapterSkip, on Twitter @ChapterSkip, on the email it's chapterskip@gmail.com, and you can subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/ChapterSkip and ChapterSkip Podcast. So, everybody ready? Everybody clued up on their homework? Has everybody watched the ABCs of Death 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No? Oh, right, get out!
I forgot, Sean.
Get out! Go on.
I'm prepared to have extensive-ish notes.
Okay.
More extensive than mine.
You've got a tuna roll and a bit of salmon. And
You got some wasabi, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. And a chopstick.
And that wasn't one of the
Documents
letters.
for wasabi, yeah.
So before we get in depth and spoiler-tastic, should we just go around and kind of give a brief overview of what we thought of it, what it compares to in regards to the ABCs of Death 1? Mark, what do you reckon?
I don't even know if that's possible,
No?
in a way.
Well, yeah, it's really hard because it's basically 26 or
Yeah.
52 different movies.
I think it was a little bit less horror this time around, but then again, it's the ABCs of Death, not the ABCs of Horror.
Yeah.
This is just about ways people can die.
Yeah.
From what I remember, it was a very mixed bag. I think it started high, kind of went a bit flat in the middle, and then built up again right at the end.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. There's some I enjoyed more than others, but obviously we'll get into that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a bit of a hard thing to review as a...
It is, but yeah, definitely,
all-encompassing.
definitely a fun movie. Joe, what do you reckon as an overall kind of thing?
I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the first one more, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed that.
Wait, you've seen ABCs of Death 1?
Well, I have.
Chad?
I've seen both of them. Well, did they have more money on this one? So I felt that production values seemed a little bit higher.
I don't actually know. I haven't
Especially
done.
starting off.
Yeah, I haven't done that much research into it. I
I
know
think it was the same.
in the
They
first
only
one
had
it's £5,000
It was
each,
this one
wasn't
as
it?
well.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sure it was.
I really enjoyed it. Again, as Mark said, it's kind of hard because there's some parts of the first one, or some of the letters in the first one that I preferred,
Yeah.
and in this one it's the same. It's
Yeah.
There was more humour in this one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't as dark, I didn't think.
There was more that made
I
me
just think there
chuckle.
was some really fucked up bits. Some real, just like that person was clearly on acid.
Yeah.
There was some that made me chuckle just from what the title was revealed to be. I'm like, that's funny now.
But that's half the joy of watching the ABCs of Death. It's like, you know what the letter is, and you're always trying to guess. Like, the first letter in this one is a guy going through like an air duct. He looks like he's going to be an assassin.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
it doesn't be revealed as assassin. I was like, that's really clever. But we'll get into that very shortly.
Because we thought it was something different to what it was as well.
Yeah.
There was one that done a complete rip-off with your letters, and we'll get to you later as well.
Yeah, I
was
think I
just
know which one
ridiculous.
you're
Yeah.
on about. I think that was the worst one of the bunch,
Yeah.
but we'll get into that very shortly. I thought number 2 was better than number 1 overall.
Ah.
There were definitely ones I preferred in number 1, but I think as an overall kind of enjoyment factor, I think I enjoyed ABCs of Death 2 even more.
I think I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I
mean, granted, there's going to be
when I think
like,
about it overall.
probably 5 or 6 standout ones from the first one that were miles better than number 2, but I think the overall just variety was better in number 2. But yeah, so shall we go through each letter
I'm ready for
and chat about this? So the alphabet starts with A, and A was for amateur.
Which I thought it was going to be accident-prone, or Amy suggested, it's accident-prone.
Oh yeah, I just thought assassin. That's all I thought.
I do like the way we make a game of it. When you watch it, you
Yeah.
try and guess what
Yeah,
the letter's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be, don't you?
Well, that's the thing. So the short film sort of starts off with this guy kind of tooling up and kitting up, doesn't he? And he looks like he's going to be an assassin, and then it shows shots of what you would assume like some sort of mob boss or like some sort of shady drug dealer guy with a
token topless ladies.
Yeah, and then you see the guy go through the air ducts, and then you see somebody get shot, and then it kind of rewinds and goes back because
It's
the
kind of-
setup is like a montage,
Yeah,
isn't it?
this whole thing is like, this is what he thinks the job is going to be, but the reality of what he experiences is way, way different from what he perceived.
Yeah, which I thought was really, really good. I thought it had a really cool vibe, almost like a Drive-esque vibe, that sort of lo-fi 80s kind of synth music, and then that sort of the colours kind of blown out, kind of neon almost colours of the club scene, and then, you know, he climbs through the air ducts and then it rewinds back.
Yeah.
And then it just shows that he's just a complete fuck up. And I
Who
really
has an air duct with fucking nails in it though?
I know, right?
He was
And-
making a lot of noise in that air duct.
Yeah, and I just thought the reveal was really good at the end when the guys are like, really smells in here, because obviously
Paying all this fucking money and it stinks of shit.
yeah, and then the guy falls out of the air duct and he's dead and all maggots are falling out. I was like, oh, that's kind of creepy.
He cuts his throat, don't he, he has a thing in his hand, don't he, and slices his throat. That guy who
shoots him.
falls on him, though, don't he, or
No,
something?
he falls on him, but it's just all maggots come out of his
Oh,
mouth.
is that what it was? I knew it was something like that. Though.
And then the guy, his gun goes off anyway, and he still kills his target.
Yeah.
Which was, but then when it came up AS for amateur, I'm like, oh, that's fucking funny. as
Yeah,
well, man.
yeah,
That's
I thought it
brilliant.
was really good. It was enhanced by the actual reveal of the letter. I thought it was
Yeah.
really, really good.
And it was directed by a chap called E.L. Katz, who directed Cheap Thrills, which was recommended to us by one of the... We had a subscriber who'd... Didn't he message us? He'd marathoned all our videos, remember that chap?
yeah.
And he'd mentioned Cheap Thrills to us, which is a film I've had it knocking around for a little while now, and I'm ready to check it out, and I haven't got round to it, so I definitely will now.
Yeah, if it's anything like his entry in the ABCs of
I
Death,
think
then...
it's about two guys... It's the chap who was in the last Final Destination film. He's an Anchorman, the balding guy.
I think I know who you mean,
I forgot his name. Him and his wife have met these two guys who are down on the luck and are short on cash, and they're kind of like, well, we'll do you like dares for money. So it's like, you know, here's 50 quid, go and slap that stripper on the ass. So he does it and then gets threatened by like a bouncer. He's like, well, we'll give you $100 if you like punch the bouncer. And they're like, oh, okay. Then they start making more and more bizarre things for them to do for more and more money. And it looked really good. So I was quite surprised when I saw that, you know, this was the same director. I'm struggling for words here because Sean's fucking about, and I'll finish what I was going to say.
I want to turn the telly on because we're all getting distracted by the TV.
All right.
I can see, like, I'm trying to make eye contact with people and...
Everyone's going, there's police on the telly doing something.
Is that off now?
Just hit that.
Just
Just hit that button. Yeah.
We might have to edit this bit out.
What were you saying, Mark?
Yeah, they look really good. Should we move on?
Yeah, moving swiftly onwards to the letter B. I thought this was really good. I am a big fan of Julian Barrett. I thought this was really good. I did call what the letter was going to be.
It was, yeah, as soon as he said,
It was very obvious.
this
and that-
badger said has been here for 600
Yeah.
years.
and the whole thing was kind of obvious, but I thought it was done really well. I thought it was a good use of almost like found footage or like candid footage where he's doing like an interview or almost like a nature documentary, and he's like, here we are, and there's a badger said, and they haven't been here for so many years just because of all pollution. And then
Yeah.
the camera guy fucks up and they keep rolling. He's like, you will cut when I say you want to cut. He's just like a completely arrogant guy.
But I like how it was made to look like it was all one shot as well. There's
Yeah.
probably the odd cut where they've done a switch
Yeah,
pan
that's
type
what I
of
was
thing,
thinking,
but
yeah.
There was a line in it I fucking loved when he's arguing at him, and he's like, I do not want to hear one more word from you. And the bloke goes, okay, should I text you? That's fucking brilliant. I love that.
I thought that was kind of typical Julian Barrett kind of comedy,
Yeah.
out of left centre sort of thing, where you're just like, what's somebody going to say against this? And they'll, shall I text you then? But yeah, I thought it was really good, really funny, well put together. Weren't any kind of over apparent use of gore or anything like that. I just think it had a nice kind of realistic, funny tone to it.
He did fall out of the sky though, didn't he? At the end, it sounded like he.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
I
but
didn't
the
really
thing
get
is
that.
that
He got shot up, didn't he?
well, the sound man put his boom in, then the dead cat got
Yeah.
eaten by the badger or whatever it was, and then it got like flung up, didn't it, in the air.
And that's
So that
like
was the whole thing. So when it grabbed Julian Barrett and dragged him
I
in,
think the initial thing you see flying was his legs. Because
yeah.
then it pans away and then you hear like and a thud and it goes back and then it's his top half.
Yeah.
So I
He
think
says cut, don't he? Cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says-
Sliced in half.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. Probably out of those two, I think the first one was probably better. I think it had a cooler vibe, but I really liked the like the
They
second
were
one as well.
both really good.
Yeah, and at
But
this point,
yeah, like you said, completely different ways.
yeah, at this point I thought it's really, really strong opening, considering the first one had English actors in it, and Julian Barrett's obviously an English kind of actor.
Yeah, I was like,
director,
this is
comedian.
doing good for Britain. This.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's why, like, as a fan of Julian Barrett and that, I enjoyed it. Because obviously I like his past work, Nathan Barley and Matey Boosh and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's got a good start. I didn't know if he could do sort of horror or anything like that, and I'm kind of glad he put the horror element, but with the
He
comedy.
done that weird film as well. Was it Bunny and the Bull or something?
Yeah,
he
it's a
did?
good film.
Yeah,
Which was quite.
yeah.
That was odd and quite abstract and that. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
most definitely. That's very sort of Bush-esque, just that kind of out there, using different forms and stuff. Almost Wes Anderson-esque in a way, but
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
set period sort of.
Yeah, because there's those bits where it was all.
yeah, like set pieces and cardboard
yeah.
and like 2D and 3D, mixing all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff together. Moving on to the letter C. C was for capital punishment.
I loved that one.
Yeah.
Did you like that
I
one?
thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The beheading scene.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
didn't
yes.
expect it to be that brutal. You know, normally when a camera like cuts away
Yeah.
at a point of impact, or the camera would cut to the point of impact,
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell, it made me wince.
Yeah. It was
And
really
there's a
good.
bit as well. Like, I think the third strike with the action, there's a big skin fold
Yeah,
rolling
yeah,
over, and it's
yeah.
like, wow, that's really well done.
Yeah, that was really weird because I made some notes of it when I first watched it, and I put it as like really, really cool, good suspense and great gore effects. But I'd kind of forgotten about it up until we just mentioned it. So I guess, is that a bad thing that it kind of passed me by, that I didn't really remember too much
I
about
think it was because we'd had two with like clever endings, and this just kind of ended.
Yeah.
So even though it was really good, it was just like, oh, it's just finished.
Yeah.
All right. It was. I was waiting for something else because
Yeah.
the others had that little.
I was quite surprised with that one actually, how quickly it pulled me in, even like
Yeah.
in the space of 5 minutes or whatever it was on for. I was pulled in very quickly right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it just kind of gripped me the whole time,
Yeah.
which
Well, as soon as you see that news report of like the girl's been found alive, and like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, he didn't do it.
That was good, yeah, and I think it kind of built up the suspense of, them trying to go and get it, and then the guy just crashes in the side of the road. You're like, oh, it's not going to happen. And then the guy gets beheaded, and that was really, really funny. And, well, no, it wasn't funny, but you know what I mean. Especially when they're trying to hack his head off. And
Yeah, oh,
literally
yeah,
he's
he's
like-
missing. doesn't he?
yeah, he's just like, in the side, oh,
For
God.
fuck's sake, do it properly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, get the knife and finish it.
Like, hold his head down, I can't, you're going to swing on my hands.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that thing. Oh, my fingers.
Then the guy just whips his head off at the end, don't he? Yeah, really, really good. C for capital punishment. Now, D. D in ABCs of Death 1
Oh, fucking hell, I
was
remember this.
incredible.
Yeah, yes.
D was for Dogfight in the first movie, which had a lot of competition because that was so good. I was almost like, I wonder if D can do any better. I think in this one, they just took it in a completely different direction. It was almost like...
I'd like to say,
Stop
I have
animation.
no idea what the fuck it was about.
No.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
I
I did,
enjoyed
yeah.
it.
Really good, but I don't know if there was some message in there or what. But
Yeah, that was my notes. Didn't understand it, but really enjoyed it.
It was extremely macabre. Whoever, who did it?
I thought it was
I'm not
great
sure.
stop motion sort of effects.
I haven't written it
and
down.
that,
He's
you know.
only done short movies. I think the guy's done it. He's only done little short
Yeah.
films, and I meant to look up some of his other stuff, but I haven't got round to it yet.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a Lee
Robert Morgan,
Harker.
that's the guy's name.
I thought it was great stop motion and that what it had.
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah.
really, really
Had a
good.
really good sort of
Clearly
jerky
taking
feel.
drugs.
Yeah, that's what
It
I
was
thought.
surreal,
That's
it
what I
was
thought.
weird,
Yeah.
it was kind of a bit of creepy vibe to it, and
Yeah.
it was just...
That's what I thought. I said, I'm sure you would enjoy it much more if you was higher.
It had that weird, strange
That's a good thing to
freakiness that you
say.
get from like the Salad Fingers animations, I think, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just the way their eyes looked really weird. They weren't quite human, but they resembled human. They almost looked like they was made out of like candle or some sort of weird like stone clay or something like that.
Strange, isn't it?
Just to explain it to everyone, it's an animated piece, and it's a guy who's strapped to like an operating table,
Yeah.
and three other guys come
They're like
in.
weird, like
and-
clerk type, like cleric type things. They got like long robes on,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah, they were
don't know what they
weird
want to do to him.
And then they squash a bug, and then a giant bug comes out, and it's got a speaker in his ass.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
at all.
I love when he goes to kill them guys with his bug hand, and one of them screams, and all that the skin peeled off his face and
Yeah.
his skull.
Yeah.
But
And it just
I went-
starts going all black, where he's changing.
oh yeah, the big
stuff.
bug's eating his arm, and then his gets all weird and all
And then he puts his head, and his head gets stuck.
Yeah, that was weird. I like that.
And
He
then
goes
that
around
goes
the head
black,
and he
that
gets his
goes
head
black
stuck.
as well. So,
This must sound like the ramblings of a madman. People listen to this podcast, or I say person, are thinking, what on earth are you on
I
about?
think it's good for that arty sort of effect as well.
Yeah, most definitely. And in the end, D was for deloused, which I had no idea what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be some sort of bug related, which it kind of
Death
was.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
D or death
be on
or
that a bit.
decapitation.
Yeah, something like
that. But deloused, it kind of fit in with it. A weird animation that looked cool, was hella weird, but in the end, I really enjoyed it actually. Moving along to E. E was for equilibrium. I didn't guess that one at all. I had no idea what it was going to be. And do you remember what E was from the ABCs of Death 1?
Oh,
Not
shit.
I can't remember what it was.
No, I
I'm
don't.
just wondering if they were kind of rivaled at all. But anyway,
I can't
in
remember.
ABCs of Death 2, this one...
Because I thought it was going to be envy.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Gonna
I
be.
thought that, and then it was like, oh, it's going to be engaged. Is that? I'm not sure where
Yeah.
it's.
Basically, there's two kind of guys with really bad facial hair. I say bad facial hair in the fact
all
that
got-
you can tell it was, like fake facial hair, and they're like lost on a beach. You would
They're
assume.
castaways, weren't they?
Yeah, castaways, and they're sort of hanging out together, and then randomly a woman sort of turns up, and you just assume that they're going to kind of break away, and one of them's going to get, like you said, envious of the other one, and then it just turns out that matey just lands a coconut on her head, and
But there was a cool bit in that where it was done like a montage, where it was the camera's
Yeah,
panning
kept
along.
spinning around.
But if
and,
you, obviously the other guys then having to run round
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
side
no,
and do stuff. There
I
was
thought that was a good shot.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it that much, but
No.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, I really liked
enjoyed,
it.
I think
Yeah.
they
I enjoyed
reminded
that
me
camera
of,
shot.
They reminded me of the Channel 4 Australian Fosters guy.
It was almost, considering what they put on the sand at the end, it could have been a Foster's advert.
Or it
Yeah.
reminded me of Milky Joe from Matey Boosh.
yeah, another one of those.
Big time.
But yeah, you mentioned about the camera work. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Where after it all sort of got set up, and there was like one instance where I think the camera just stayed still, and it literally just panned around like probably like 180 degrees.
Yeah.
Like you said, the
they're
guys were
obviously
probably.
nipping
That
around.
was really cool.
I thought that was really good. That was kind
I
of
got the feeling
inventive.
that time had passed.
Yeah.
There was only one bit when the guy was running at the end, and I'm sure when he fell, he clutched his left leg, but when he's sitting on the sand, he's holding his right foot. And I didn't quite get what happened. But it was directed by, I'll try and pronounce it properly, Alejandro Bruguez, but he's the guy who directed Juan of the Dead.
Okay.
Which, if you've not seen it,
Yeah, I've
fucking
seen
check it out.
I've
It's
seen it.
really, really good film.
Okay.
But I like this one. I thought it was good. It was just a nice, well shot and fun.
Yeah,
And a simple nothing.
It was different. It wasn't too macabre. It was a little bit different, and sort of enjoyed it. But I wouldn't put it up there as one of the best ones.
No.
Now I did have high expectations for F.
Yes, I know.
Because it was directed by Aharon Kashels and Navot Papashado,
Yeah.
who, if anyone has watched any of our reviews previously, they'll know we reviewed their movie Big Bad Wolves, which was fucking fantastic.
And they
Great
did
movie.
Rabies as well.
And they did Rabies, which I still haven't seen.
That's a great film.
Yeah, and these are Israeli directors, and I thought they would
Yeah.
really, really do something cool.
Yeah.
They did F is for Falling, and I didn't really. Yeah,
I didn't.
It was all right, but it just felt like the prologue to something else.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just like that
I
she had
enjoyed
big
it. There was
boobs.
nothing wrong with it.
She was a
She did
star
have
with big
amazingly
boobs.
good
That's all I
boobs,
was-
yes.
That's all I liked about it.
I shouldn't have said that. My wife really
It's like most of the time looking down the top.
Yeah, that's all I liked. I didn't.
Glad I'm not the only one.
It was
that
like,
camera shot was blatantly on purpose.
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
push-up bra.
but it was just. Oh, it's just ended. Where's the rest
Yeah.
of?
Yeah, it was a bit like.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure at the end whether the guys who came, whether
Yeah.
they were, because obviously it's a take on the whole Israel and
Yeah,
Palestine
religion and
thing, isn't
stuff,
it? Religion,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Judaism and Muslim and stuff
It was-
like that.
yeah,
I didn't know
trying to
whether
prove a
the
point
guys
or
coming
something.
were Muslims or
Was she
Jewish.
was?
Yeah.
Was she
I'm guessing she
Iranian
was
as
Jewish, and the other guy was like a Muslim. That's what I'm kind of putting together here.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing
Was she Iranian? She said, wasn't she?
Israeli.
Oh, Israeli.
Israeli, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing either. Well, I'm not sure whether the guys who come either rescue her were her.
Yeah, 'cause it just ends,
religion
doesn't
or race or whatever.
I'm presuming they've turned up and they're going to kill her.
Yeah, you would assume,
And
but
play with the big boobies.
Decapitate her boobs if you can, and then wear them themselves.
Yeah.
as hats, as headwear.
So-
I liked it. It just kind of ended, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to see more of it. Which
Yeah.
was-
so F was for Falling, and I felt it fell short.
Yeah,
so,
it's a shame.
I still liked it.
Now,
No.
next on to
Yeah.
G,
Granddad.
it had to do a lot better than ABCs of Death 1, which was Gravity,
Can
where
I just-
basically
Oh,
somebody
that
put a
was-
oh, yeah.
GoPro on their head
I'll
and
tell
went
you-
into the water.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you my notes for G's for Grandad, my overview, and see if you agree with me. A dickhead lives with his granddad, who is definitely not a wanker. That's all I wrote.
I would agree with that, yeah. I had no idea where this one was going to go, and I was just enjoying it every step of the way.
It was a bit surreal.
It was surreal, it was weird, it was hilarious, but I kind of enjoyed it. And I like the way the granddad was trying to imitate the young guy.
Yeah, that was
And that was just wild. And we saw a glimpse of that in the ABC's of Death 2 trailer, which is really good. Some guy like coming out of the bed.
I have to listen to you wank and fart every night.
Yeah. It was, I think it definitely had a lot of British humour in there. I think
Just the weirdness of the hot. At the end, it's like, oh, I heard you called me a wanker, and then he drops his trousers and he's got no dick. And you're just like, do I look like I'm a wanker to you?
Yeah, I was like, has he got no dick, or has he just got lots of pubes so you can't see his dick? Or has he got a micro penis? And then he has that weird thing on his finger, didn't he? Like,
Clearly, you
stabbed him in the
spent
neck.
too much time staring at an old man's possible junk.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here?
Because when I was watching it, I was thinking, is it supposed to be like that's him representing him? I know it's his grandson, I know that, but was it supposed to be him when he was younger or something? Like, 'cause it just, I know, that's how I was
really
looking
think
at
there was
it.
much meaning
No,
behind it. I think it was literally
It's
just
weird for the sake of being
Like,
weird.
was it him being young and he's seen himself when he was older or younger? I was just like, what's
Well, it's
going
always
on
like
there?
you always see grandsons trying to imitate their grandparents or whatever, taking after them. It was almost like the granddad was trying to imitate the young
It's just-
guy,
yeah,
but
just really strange,
Yeah.
isn't it?
his little tight red pants and
And his little medallion. And
Yeah.
started saying there was some catchphrase that the grandson had when he was like in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, what was it?
And it was something like looking good or whatever it was.
Oh,
something he was
yeah,
going to
yeah.
say to a girl after
Yeah.
he
What
called
was
her
it?
or something.
I can't remember
I
what
can't
it was.
remember what it was.
And then the old man said it, and it was like, yeah, that's fucking funny, man.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was weird. It was funny, and yeah, it was
was
definitely
strange.
better than the
Gravity.
first movie Offering,
Yeah.
which, like we said, was a GoPro on someone's head and they go in the water.
But
Gravity.
then,
That's literally.
after this one,
Yeah, we head on over to H, which was Head Games.
the
I liked
first
it.
time I couldn't give a
Great.
fuck about one of them.
Really?
Yep, didn't give a shit.
It was great animation. I wasn't like super into it,
Oh,
amazingly,
yeah.
but it was great. I thought it was good
I-
what it did,
I
but
quite enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
kind of went on a little bit too long for
Yeah.
me. I thought it could have been a little bit shorter, kind of more to the point, but I quite enjoyed the animation style. It's
Yeah.
that kind of scribbly, very liney.
Almost like a flick book. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought sort of a cool animation, but nothing more than that for me. I sort of thought.
Yeah, cool drawing
I
style.
put some scribbly people have some weird stuff happen. I couldn't give a shit.
No, it was great. It was like really effective how they did it and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, and all the.
And it's just different because,
Yeah.
you know, you get a lot of, I guess, real-time filming and you get some stop motion. This was cool to just see some, you know, drawing, scribblings that resembled some sort of weird thing.
Yeah, and they were kissing, and then they was like,
Yeah,
like, and then they falling out,
throwing
so they
eyeballs at each
falling
other.
out, so then they were shooting at each other.
Lots and lots of eyeballs.
It
Yeah.
was crazy. Wasn't
It was
I
kind of
wasn't
weird.
keen. It didn't really appeal to me.
No, it was alright, and it just kind of passed me by. I did remember it, but I don't
For me,
remember being
this was
like,
one
wow.
of probably one of the worst ones for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's what we should say as well. Which is your standout one and which is your worst?
Yeah,
one,
we'll go through that at the
probably
end.
the end. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
The standout one's going to be difficult to pick, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got standout.
I think I've got one or two.
Yeah, I've got two, but I've got one what I really did enjoy.
Yeah.
There was more that I liked than this one.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was it for me.
yeah.
That's why I think I enjoyed it more than
Yeah.
number one, because in number one there were so many bad ones that kind of soured it for me. In this one there was like, there's a couple of alright ones.
Probably if I watched it again, you know, it'd grow on me a bit more like this one I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I was
you know.
tempted to go back and watch it again, but I just didn't have the time. But I probably
2
will in the
hours
future.
long, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
it was like
It goes
ABCs of
quite
Death.
quickly.
One was on Netflix. I was like, do I watch that
I've
as well?
sort of
again?
been watching it again because I watched it on my own and then I've started watching it with Amy's, but I think we've only got up to E.
Yeah.
Watching it together.
We're digressing.
Yeah, when anyway, moving along the alphabet, I was for Invincible.
Yeah.
I couldn't really guess what this one was going to be.
No.
It was kind of
I was thinking Indestructible or something like that.
yeah, something
Trying to
like
remember
that,
it.
or Inheritance. I thought
Yeah,
that
that was
as well.
mine.
I put-
I was Inheritance. I thought it
Yeah.
was
I've got a group of 4 siblings try and get the inheritance from their elderly mother, except she's harder to kill than Wolverine.
I got. I thought it had a Evil Dead sort of B movie feel
Yeah.
to it. I could feel. I could
Almost
really
sort of
feel-
Exorcist-y kind of.
Yeah, but that Evil Dead sort of feel with the witches and stuff. You know, the close shots of her
Oh,
when
like
she's
the-
sat
the-
there and
the
that.
heinous horror hag.
Yeah, and like, it just reminded me of that in a big way. But I did enjoy it.
I thought it was okay,
I thought
but
it-
it didn't really explain. Is like, was
No,
that
no,
amulet
no.
supposed to mean anything? What the fuck? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what causes her invincibility.
in the mouth.
But
So
when
it
she
got
got
spat
back in the
in,
other
yeah.
one, was her
Yeah.
soul transferring into the other one?
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
think it's
it
like
was.
the invincibility goes over to
It
her,
goes
and
on.
she probably can't die and is
No.
cursed with this thing.
But she'll be quite happy. Like,
Because they
oh,
was
I'm
talking
invincible.
about the money,
hooray.
what they're going to do with the money, and who gets a swimming pool, swimming pool, and all
Yeah,
that sort of
beach
stuff,
house
and
or
beach
anything
house.
like that.
And then they said, "Oh, you're going to have it now because she swallowed
Yeah.
it."
That lack of knowledge of what this amulet was all about, kind of like.
Yeah.
But I like,
Yeah.
like I said, that's the main thing for me. What I enjoyed is that I like the look of the old lady. The
Decent
sort of witch,
like
sort of-
effects and stuff,
yeah.
like the burning effect. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that was really good,
CGI
I
wasn't
thought.
great, but like the makeup effects
Yeah.
looked quite good, I thought.
I want to check out the director Eric Matty's done a film called The Aswang Chronicles, which has been on my list of stuff to check out for quite a while now. So that's bumped it up.
The Asswang.
Aswang.
I've written it here. So, Aswang Chronicles.
Asswang.
Ass and Wang Chronicles.
My notes were basically, it was kind of forgettable, but it wasn't terrible.
No.
It was alright. It wasn't too bad. Along to Jay. Jay was for Jesus.
I think I fell asleep on this one.
Oh, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I
I
actually quite
really
enjoyed it
like
as well.
the meaning of it. I like the effects.
It's a
I
guy
thought
who
it was fucking
thinks
great.
that his son's homosexuality is caused by demonic possession.
Yeah, again
and
with the
he's
whole
trying to cure
religion,
him of
the
it.
whole religion thing,
Yeah.
and no homosexuals, they must die, faggots must die, all
Yeah.
that sort of just crazy where they believe and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I thought that represented it. I think that they must have been obviously Catholic. Was they like
Yeah, I think it's
Spanish or
Catholic.
something?
Yeah,
Catholic.
Spanish
So it's very
Catholic, yeah.
strong. It's a big thing in the country, innit, and stuff. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought
yeah.
out of most of them, it had probably the most potential to be turned into maybe a
Yeah.
30-minute or
Yeah,
maybe even a
certainly,
feature
yeah.
length.
Yeah,
Where you
definitely.
can like go into the relationship that the
Yeah.
guys had and the jealousy or the discrimination that the father had, and then hiring these like weird religious demonic possession.
Yeah.
I guess this one
To
quite,
pray the
quite
gay
easy.
away.
Did you?
Yeah, pray the gay away.
Did everyone guess this was going to be Jews? It's quite
Yeah,
easy.
I
did.
think
like,
it
that's
did.
gonna
Yeah,
be Jews.
especially when at one point there
I
was
think
like
some like they're going to do some weird thing with it, and it's like, oh, they go with Jesus. I was expecting
Jamiroquai.
something.
Jamiroquai.
Because his hand stamp lead was
big
like,
ass
Jesus,
stick
straight
to the
away. I was
Ferrari,
thinking that. But no, and then was he representing the devil, his boyfriend? Who was he like? Was he basically Satan? Do you
I
think?
thought it was like some sort of like
You don't think he was supposed
angel
to
of
be
death
Satan
or
or something?
something, wasn't he?
I
Just
thought he
sort of
meant
like
in
weird.
I thought he meant Rosetta and the good and evil. I don't know, because obviously
Well, no, because then it would have meant the gay dead guy was evil.
Yeah,
so
that's
they
what
wouldn't
I
be
thought,
doing
yeah.
down that reference.
no, but. It was just a crazy way of how they was representing religion. So I
No, I'd go with
thought
Sean's
it
one.
could
It
have
was more
gone
like
crazy.
an
like
angel
that, I
of
thought.
vengeance kind of thing.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool. It looked kind of weird.
I enjoyed it overall.
Yeah, enjoyable. Good effects, I thought as well.
Yeah.
Like the whole stigmata thing, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that
what I
one.
like
Jay
about
was
it,
for
yeah.
Jesus. Now, the next one I'm sure is gonna confuse everybody. K was for Canel or Nell.
Nell.
I'd say it'd be
As in
Nell.
like a death knell. Innit?
Is that what it means? I don't know.
Yeah, basically.
It's a sound of, isn't it like an ominous sound or something?
No.
Dunno.
I think. Yeah, I meant to look it up and didn't.
Yeah.
What you-
The first part of my notes for this was question mark, question mark, question mark. I literally didn't know what to think about this
I
one.
didn't really enjoy this one much.
I liked it, but the
That's all I put.
ending wasn't very conclusive. But the effects were fucking sweet.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
that-
I really did enjoy this
That's
one.
the thing. I thought it
I've actually
started
put
off.
a paragraph for this.
I thought it started off really well, like the whole like
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
thing. She's painting the toenails.
Yeah,
She looks
yeah.
outside and there's
And
that
then
weird
all the-
like.
She
Yeah.
hears the noise, which I guess
Yeah.
is the knell,
And
Yeah.
all the people.
and sees this weird liquid spheroid.
I
Yeah.
thought that looked really cool.
Yeah,
I
and then
thought,
when they're all
oh,
standing there and stuff as
Yeah.
well, and that, I thought that was cool. It started off like that, but then
The
it was
liquid
a bit
sphere
like-
in the sky, and everyone in the building underneath it goes mental and starts
Yeah,
it was a
killing
bit
each
like,
other.
and then it never really went
No.
And
anywhere
then the black
else.
No, I
fluid
thought-
comes into her,
yeah, it comes under the
apartment
floor, but it
merges
mixes
with
with
her
the blood,
blood.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
and then it just kind of
Yeah.
flashbacks to some her
I
past.
just, I
and
just
it
thought it
ended,
could have
and I'm
done a
like,
bit, could have been
Yeah.
a bit better. I just, I don't know.
It was,
overall,
for me,
I
it was a bit like F, where it was like it felt like the prologue, the first 5 minutes to a bigger thing, where you're like, where's the rest of the film?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was excited by it when I did see that sort of orb in the sky. I thought, oh, something really,
Sort of,
really cool was
yeah.
coming up. But then it just sort of petered out, fell off the rails, and didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
So we'll go on to the next one, which carried on in the same fashion for me. L was for Legacy. It was some sort of African tribe. I thought it was dull. Uninteresting, and bad effects.
I thought it was terrible. I think our effects are better than what these guys were using. So I thought, fucking mental, the effects were. They were terrible.
The son of the king in the land of Ubini is said to be sacrificed by his
speaking,
mother,
like-
but instead a guy in a monster mask runs around and kills some people with the power of bad CGI.
They were speaking English, obviously, weren't they?
Well,
It's
yeah,
a
it was
thick
subtitled,
African,
yeah.
a thick African accent, and I was
It
like,
started cool, and then it went, it's a
Yeah.
bloke in a shit monster mask, and there's this really bad CGI, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
it was shite.
What was the CGI? I can't remember. I didn't make it.
really bad?
Really, like
really
Blood
bad.
effect things, wasn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like
weird
really
blood.
bright.
Yeah.
Did they shoot
Like
some?
MS
Were they
Paint
shooting
quality.
things
Yeah.
at them and
Didn't
stuff?
you like
Something like
point
that?
at a stick in the ground and
Yeah.
kind of gesture and it flung into people?
Yeah.
It looked
Just like
bad.
what the?
It was kind of like YouTube quality, where like people
It
just
just-
got camera like,
it just-
oh, I looked on YouTube and found some like
It just
background
makes you
effect
think,
stuff.
why the fuck can we have done represented this? What, like one of these, you know?
Yeah, they had $5,000.
Does anybody know? Because I don't know which one was, or did they not do it this time? Yeah, they did do it this time, didn't they? Where you could.
Yeah, that's the next
Enter,
one coming
yeah.
up next.
Okay, I don't know because I didn't
Yeah.
know which one.
Yeah,
that
because
was
we was going to do M's for Moth, weren't we?
all. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so that leads on
Leading up
to
to-
the letter M, which was for
Masticate.
masticate. That's it, yeah. And this featured in the trailer as well, and I was looking forward to this sort of
Yeah.
like a slow-mo zombie quite thing. I really enjoyed it
I
because
did.
it was like an award, like an entry that people have made themselves, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I thought that hilarious. I like the slow motion. I like the sort of like the '60s pop song over it.
Yeah.
Anybody remembers that? The sort of pop rock
See, in the
song.
trailer, I wasn't sure because Deers for Dogfight was one of my favourites in the original,
Yeah.
and that being all slow motion, I was thinking, oh, was someone just copying that?
Yeah.
And it did sort of show, wow, everything looks amazing in super slow
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah, no, it's so
But
good.
the ending,
Even his pissy pants.
it's a fat man in pissy
And when he
pants running
breaks
down
them
the
and all
road.
all the
Yeah, that was really
But the
good.
little bit at the end, where
That
he
was
said-
just great.
It was fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
you
man.
know, I have some better films, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like,
yeah.
fuck yeah, that's
I like how it's just straight to the point, simple. You got it, you know. It's
Yeah.
just like what you like.
It's like,
Why
bang,
the
there's a
fuck?
complete story.
Yeah, why the fuck is he running down? I like how he just grabs the people. He just like get the
Yeah.
fuck out of my
In his
way.
pissy pants.
See, for me, I really liked it. I thought it was cool. The
Yeah.
slow motion was awesome. It
Yeah.
looked great, but I wasn't keen on the ending.
No, I
kind of
thought
made
it
me
was
laugh.
great that they just put that in.
It punctuated it, but then I thought, I don't know, you've kind of taken away from the coolness.
Because I thought at
It's
first
almost
he was a
joke
zombie. I
now.
thought he was going to be a zombie or something like that. That's what I
Yeah.
thought he was like. But-
Well, he sort
That's
of
why
well.
he's-
oh, he went a bit mental, didn't he?
Yeah, it was just a guy high on whatever.
Didn't
and-
know what he was doing.
See, I like the end, it made me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did make me laugh. I just
Yeah.
thought, when I thought of it some more, if I'd have just gone, hey, that was fun, and then moved on to the next one, but I sort of paused it, made some notes, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the ending
I
or not.
enjoyed
It kind of
the ending.
took away from me. But overall, I thought, you know, if I'd have seen that in the list to go forward to be actually in the movie, I think I would have voted for it. I thought it looked like amazing, like
Just so
good quality
Even when he
stuff.
shot him, and he shoots at the end, don't he? Like the copper shoots him.
Yeah, yeah,
And things like it's just like really good effects, and
yeah. Yeah,
it reminded me of Connor basically running down the
yeah.
street.
Our friend, yeah, kind of big
That's what I
chubby
kept
bearded
thinking
guy.
of all the time. It was like Connor
Yeah.
would be brilliant with this.
So yeah, good stuff. Next up was N, which was for Nexus. I had no idea what N was going to stand for.
Yeah.
Sort of enjoyed this one. I liked all the almost like the first person camera work. I thought that was really good. It made it stand out
What's
for
this?
me.
I've just got
The guy that has the
I can't remember what it is now.
The guy in
Oh
Frankenstein was
yeah. Where he's going to meet his girlfriend, isn't he?
White.
Some sort of like hipster vampire, not vampire,
That
hipster
she's dressed
Frankenstein
as,
guy.
no, she's dressed as, yeah, he's
The
the
bride.
Frankenstein,
Yeah.
she's the bride of
Yeah, and then
Frankenstein.
she's talking to that kid, isn't she? And then
Yeah.
they're all just sort of their worlds obviously come
Yeah,
together
Johnny
because
Depp
of
was
the
in it,
accident.
And he's obviously going on a date with her. He had his little tub of sweets with Be My Valentine,
Yeah.
which I thought was quite funny.
Just
Yeah.
riding through New York or wherever.
I thought it was
yeah.
alright. I thought it needed a bit more punch to it.
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
seem it felt a bit just safe, wasn't it? Just
Yeah.
sat there
It
very
was-
safe.
It was someone and nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
It was
felt-
cool, but then
sat-
it just
sat there
went,
very safe.
and now we've ended. You're like,
Yeah,
oh.
because when he's getting ready, I was like, what's happening here? And he's got
Yeah.
his big boots and things.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Sitting
what's
there
going on?
naked.
And I'm like, oh, right.
I thought it really could have been punctuated when was it the bike or the car hit the kid, and it just
Yeah.
kind of went, oh.
His head could have popped
If it
off.
had gone like, you know, made a visceral
A bit more
sound,
on that, yeah.
I thought it'd been like, oh,
Yeah.
the kid got nailed, but it was a bit
mean,
like, I got it.
Yeah, it's just very safe, wasn't it? Yeah.
Or it needed a bit more where someone then took the kid and reanimated him as a Frankenstein. Just a little bit. Well, that was directed by Larry Fessenden, who did Jugface.
Yeah, that's
Which was
cool.
a cool
That's
little
cool.
film.
And I think the guy who was in, I might be getting this wrong. The guy who played the Frankenstein. He's in quite a few sort of independent sort of films and
I don't
sort of
know.
film. Like,
I didn't recognise him.
So I sort of looked at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was terrible.
Pardon me.
I quite enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it. It just missed the punch at the end a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, that's
but
it.
like we said, very just sat there, didn't it? Very safe on
Yep.
a level.
On to the next one, which was O. Now, I'm not quite sure how to say this.
I'm going to go with
Ochlocracy,
yeah,
yeah.
Ochlocracy.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Which apparently means Bob Raw, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it, yeah. This was sort of a really cool take on
Yeah,
the
I
zombie.
like the idea.
I love the
Yeah.
spin. I thought the
Yeah.
spin was great.
I thought this one, like the other ones, this probably could have been taken and developed into a whole
Yeah,
movie.
this is a whole fucking
Was it?
concept here.
Right at the start was the little guy like, death! All every shot, death!
Yeah.
It was
Basically, it's a court scene, but
Yeah.
the people, the judge and the jury in the court are zombies.
Yeah.
It's like there's been a zombie outbreak, but they've kind of been cured now. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still zombies, but
So
they're
they've
not.
still got feelings, man.
Yeah. But they've got all their emotions back, and now they're trying people that ran around during the zombie Holocaust, shooting zombies in the head.
Yeah.
And when they bring when they bring the head in and they bring him alive again, like,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
dies or whatever. He's like, ah! He's like,
And then he
guilty.
It's a really good idea. I didn't
Yeah.
quite get the ending felt a bit unnecessary with the lightning zapping the other
Yeah,
zombies.
Yeah, I
didn't need
thought
all,
the,
didn't need all
yeah.
that, I don't think.
The bad CGI electricity, I thought maybe if it had ended earlier on, like I quite like the
They should
story.
have just said they would put her in a chair, pull
Yeah.
the switch, bang, end.
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
that would have worked a
Very,
lot
very
better. Even if it's just a
concept.
noise. If it was
Yeah,
just
that concept was awesome.
if it was just a noise, you could hear it
Yeah.
like happening.
Yeah,
It's
just
like
like
that was it. That
click
was
it,
and
fade
then
to
it comes
black,
up,
and then the bzz, fade
then
to
it
black
comes up with what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
look, the biggest piece of shit.
yeah, P was for piece of shit.
Oh yeah, fucking scary.
It was
What?
weird.
Yeah.
Very,
I have
I'm
written,
glad you guys didn't like it.
I've written in
'cause
my
I fucking
notes.
didn't.
A bunch of stuttering pricks wander around in the dark and meet a guy with a baby. Also pricks.
Yeah, this is what I got on it.
Prick baby.
Well, I still,
P is for prick baby.
Fucking hell, it's gone down again. Right, I got what the fuck. All I thought was cock noses. Could have been far better.
joke.
Could have been far more better. I think they was trying too hard to be
yeah,
If we did
strange.
Pierce for penis nose,
Yeah.
it would have been alright.
Even on
Yeah.
a podcast special, we have to mention cock.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah, just strange. Oh, obviously, I know it's going for that 40s fucking
Is
sort
it
of
supposed to be like
cheap, what they call Three Stooges. Yeah, it's supposed to be that film, wasn't it?
The thing was,
But it's the
Annoyed
same
the
what?
hell out of me.
cheated on the letter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
scary.
what the fuck?
Off.
Let's put that in. That'd be really
And
cool, wouldn't it?
everyone was fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people fucking hate it.
Really?
The one thing I did like about it was I liked that it was in sort of almost pitch black and then it was sort of highlighted. I thought that was
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
cool.
I like his weird twisted face now when he goes a bit
That was-
crazy.
yeah, that
but
was
it
alright.
was just
Wasn't enough to redeem.
no.
My
I can't
note-
even remember what happened other than they was really fucking irritated and then they disappeared.
keep leave
Yeah.
every time he
Like
lets
the best, leave it
likes
like
a,
that.
like, every time he lets a match one goes, don't they?
Yeah.
One's disappearing and stuff, and then it's just him. He keeps blowing them out the guy, don't he? So-
Oh,
Yeah.
and the baby blew the thing out.
Yeah.
He is
Basically,
for-
my notes for scary was dumb.
Yeah.
That's all I wrote for it.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving swiftly onwards to one that I quite enjoyed, but I don't know if whether you guys would or not. This was Q was for questionnaire. Basically,
I quite liked
I
it.
thought it was nothing special.
I like-
I like
like
the-
that kind
I don't know,
of.
what did-
While he was answering the questions, it was then cutting
yeah,
to
like
what's going to happen.
yeah,
to it. It's
showing
like-
you what was happening. Like,
See, it kind of, I don't know whether it's because I'm dumb or I just felt really dumb after watching the previous letter, but I thought it was almost like he was involved in like a car accident and they were trying to bring him back to life and that was him sort of questioning himself, like, but then it turns
Yeah, I
out
know
as
what
it
you're
goes
saying.
along they're questioning him to see if he's got a good enough brain to
Yeah,
put in an ape.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like going in with that mind frame, I quite enjoyed it because I thought, oh, what's happening? Why are they doing surgery? I must have like died or what. And this is like subconscious having a, you know, a epiphany.
Wow, you
or-
really went deep.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I was like, oh, they're going to murder him. Yeah, that's what I watched for.
it's strange.
You're a little bit more innocent.
Yeah, what's your
I felt
like a
like
near-death
I
experience or
feel like
something?
I've seen
Definitely
him in
glasses
films.
half full kind of
That's all. I think I've seen him in
man.
films.
Yeah, he did look familiar.
Have you guys seen him in independent films? I think I've seen him before. He seemed very familiar, the guy.
I don't know.
I only looked up the directors.
You see, yeah.
Fat Jewish guy.
And I think this guy's only done short films before now. It was cool and it was intriguing. I liked it, but the end again was just like, and his brain's in a monkey. The end. I was like,
I kind of, well, for me, because I was expecting something different, that kind of took me by
right.
surprise. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
whereas I was in the same camp as Chud.
They're going to kill him.
We were in Camp Chud, and it was like, yeah, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
I liked it, but for me, it was another one that needed a little bit more at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I thought it was subtle.
Did you
which I
try
quite
and figure
enjoyed.
out the questions when she was saying? See
Yeah.
if you could do it. Oh,
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Can't fucking do any of them.
Yeah. Really good. Next up was R. Now, I thought this was quite obvious,
I did it first.
Yeah, I did
basically-
straight away. I was
The roulette.
like,
but I mean,
straight
oh,
away.
yeah.
the letter was obvious
Yeah.
because they put a gun on the table, put one round in it and spin it round, and obviously it's going to be R is for roulette.
Where's your notes, Joe?
Get away! Stop copying.
Yeah, I really like the style of this one. Had a really cool tense feel. I thought it could have gone on a little bit longer. I thought it ended too early.
Yeah, inconclusive. I like the endings.
I like the ending though. The whole twist on why they were playing roulette. It wasn't haha, you've shot yourself. We're gonna win. It was like, oh, the lucky ones are the ones that die, and they've got one bullet and like 3 of them, and someone's gonna have to die to not get eaten alive or whatever.
Yeah, whatever comes down the stairs.
So that's what I thought ended too early. I was looking forward to seeing a bit more of a bigger climax, but yeah, I like the style. I thought.
See, for me, I like that. I didn't. I've had other ones where I thought ended early. For me, it was like, yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
And it was directed by Marvin Kren, who did, I think it came out last year, called Blood Glacier, which I think was something in Alaska or Antarctica. They have a phenomenon where like you get like a red liquid come out of the ice, which happens in real life, but he's done it so there's like some ancient beasties in it, I think.
Yeah.
Another one that's been on my list of stuff I need to watch.
Next was one of my favourite.
There you go, it's mine.
S was for Split.
My favourite as well.
I really enjoyed this one. I don't know whether it's because of the sort of multiple angles and the split screen stuff. Thought it was a great story.
I just love the
good
twist
at the end. That's really good.
Yeah.
Directed by Juan Martinez Moreno, who did a film called, I don't think it was originally called this, but when it came out in English language countries, it was called Game of Werewolves.
Game of Werewolves. Yeah. I thought it was really quite tense.
Yeah,
I was really engaged in it.
Really good with the hammer blows and the things. I thought the effects there, and
I thought it was really good. And the fact that basically they murdered a little baby, I was a bit like,
fuck. It was just like,
although you didn't get to see it or anything like that, but just the thought of it and the image of it and all the blood everywhere.
And obviously here it's filmed, so you're seeing all the different
things.
I
thought that was fantastic.
Where she was hiding, he's waiting outside, the person's waiting outside, and all the different shots.
And almost at one point it was like sort of 4 corners. It almost felt like you was watching, like playing like GoldenEye 64. Where you got 4 different screens. You're like looking up there, looking at there, what's going on up there, and that frame's kind of merging on that frame. You know, the same thing's happening from 2 different angles. And I really enjoyed it because I was sort of thinking, was that 2 different takes or 2 different camera angles?
No.
You know.
And like I said, like where she's hiding and obviously, and the person's just waiting outside, sort of thing. It's like, fuck.
I did get confused by the phone though, because at one point I was a bit like, is she? Can he hear her on the phone? Can everybody hear? Is it on like speakerphone?
Yeah.
Did he pick up the phone? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, no. It was just like, well.
Yeah, but thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah,
Judd, you were going to say something.
I'd say I didn't expect the ending going, but not at all. It was caught me
I'm going to be
surprise.
devil's advocate in this one. I liked how it was shot and I liked the effects and so on, but I thought the twist was a bit silly, really.
I thought it was.
He didn't sell it to me.
Tied it together.
He didn't come across as, but I needed to believe that he'd give a shit about his wife, and I didn't, because he was like, you'd be more freaked out if someone you found someone's in your house attempting to murder your wife. You'd be a bit more, oh my god, what the fuck's going on? Not just like, you're right.
I mean,
he came across too
there's not
casual
much
for me.
you can do at that point.
And with the twist,
he was in France.
why kill his wife and child?
Because
it didn't make sense.
she was jealous.
Yeah, but then you go after him and her husband. It didn't make sense to me.
She's been hurt, so she's taken it on them.
The way she's going to hurt him more is like by killing his like wife and child. It's
but that's the bit like saying, you got a new job, so we can't do ChapterSkip as often. I'm going to punch Joe's dog. It was that kind of too many steps removed.
No, what it'd be like is if I jilted you, you would go after my partner, somebody who I cared most about, you know. Sorry, Joe, I'm not saying I don't care about your dog, but
to me,
like most.
I don't know. I was like, it didn't sell it for me.
If you piss me off, you hurt me. I go after your wife and children. It's going to devastate you even more than me just killing you.
She's going to go to prison or whatever for that, but at the end of the day,
but I don't think I would have done. He didn't come across as upset enough about his wife being. Yeah, well, so that's why I'm like,
you know, at the end of the day, she's got her revenge. If she went to prison or whatever, she's done that. She's got her revenge. She's happy. That's
but she didn't get revenge because her husband's still bumming some other bloke.
Yeah.
But
now she's in
prison.
She's going to go murder him, probably.
And she's in prison, but she's going to be taking all kinds of weird things.
Well, she's just taken something away.
She's vicious.
Her husband's been
to me, he wasn't emotional enough to sell it for me.
Yeah, her husband took away from her, so she's doing that.
I didn't think he needed to go over the top because
I think you would.
At that point, but what can you do down a phone? There's not much you can do other than go, help!
If you're talking to your girlfriend on the phone and you like suddenly she's like freaking out because someone smashed her in the house, she'd be a lot more like, oh fucking hell!
Maybe he'd been to the Liam Neeson school. You know, keep calm, let me listen. Okay, 10 steps away.
I think it was more he'd been to the Keanu Reeves school.
Right,
just
guys,
went wooden
let's
face.
just take it outside and just handle this.
I don't know. I like how it was shot. I like the effects, but it just didn't sell it.
No,
for
but
me.
I'm glad
twist
it.
was
I'm
a
glad
bit-
it. I'm glad it polarised each of us
Yeah.
because it'd be kind of boring if we went. This
Yeah,
one was
yeah.
good. This one wasn't. It's good. We got a good discussion.
Yeah.
They got a little bit heated, a little bit rowdy. It's all good. It's all good.
we move
Moving
on?
on to T, which was for torture porn.
The only bit I liked was the name. I didn't really like this one.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was okay.
It's a bit silly, bit.
I was disappointed because it was done by the Soska sisters that are like American
Yeah.
Mary and
Yeah,
Dead
yeah.
Hooker in a Trunk.
Yeah.
It was kind of okay, but when it all went mental, it was
Yeah.
all flashy red lighting, and I can't really see what it needed to just show you what the fuck was going on and go
Yeah.
full on visceral over the top of
Yeah.
it, not just like there's some flashy red lights, stuff's happening, the end,
Action.
What? Yeah.
Stuff. Excitement. Yeah, it was alright, but kind of forgettable. I didn't really remember what really happened other than she's sort of on a casting couch type thing for what you would assume an adult film or a porno, and she's slapping her tits around or whatever.
She didn't really want to be in it, and then she mutated and weird cock things come out of it. It's like the reverse of tentacle porn.
Yeah, it made me smile, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was like,
Other than that, it didn't really
They could have done far.
go too far. Next in the alphabet after T is U, and U is for Utopia.
Yeah.
This one was alright, had a nice idea. I thought it kind of lacked something though.
I
wasn't sure what it was.
I enjoyed it, the sort of feel, and in my eyes, it felt like it was similar to in ABCs of Death 1, where she wants to be slim, the fat lady, that
Yeah.
one which I really enjoy. Weird, she wants to be like everybody else, sort of
Yeah.
thing, and slim. So it was like sort of like standing out, sort
Yeah,
of like
it's,
not the
it's
sheep.
definitely a stance on like individuality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In this utopia, everyone's
'cause
the
he was-
same.
yeah,
and
he was
there's
sort
that
of scruffy
fat,
looking,
clumsy guy,
weren't
and he doesn't fit in, so they basically exterminate him.
Yeah.
Kind of remind me. It gave me, They Live. It just kind of reminded me of that
Didn't
sort
watch
of. I watched it.
Never got around to doing it.
Just
Just
that
homework,
whole,
did
like
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
all stop and stare at him and they get their phones out. Sort of
No,
thing.
I enjoyed
My notes-
what it
Reminded me
was.
of that.
I put in my notes,
enjoyed
in the
it for what it
utopia
was.
of the future, the world is populated by a bunch of self-centered cunts.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I
because
really liked it.
I got into it and I was quite intrigued, and when the title came up saying U is for Utopia, I fucking laughed my ass off. So I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. I like the way it's like, this.
I quite like the way it weren't just like, oh, he's different, so we'll like incarcerate him or shoot him. They kind of put it in that weird like trolley type robot thing, and to
Well,
basically set fire to him. I was like,
And they all
kind of brutal, yeah.
I kind of liked
The
it.
clapping though was kind of like all synced up, wasn't it? It wasn't just like random.
And it was directed by
Well, they're just all slaves, basically.
Yeah.
They're all just the
Yeah.
same. Everybody's a fucking same,
and it was directed by Vincenzo Natali, who did Cube and Splice.
Yeah,
So he's done
that's
some
cool.
really cool stuff in the past.
Yeah.
I liked it. And when I couldn't figure out what U was going to be, so when the title came up, I'm like, oh, I really fucking get it now. So that was
Yeah.
one that I
Yeah.
really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Definitely pretty cool.
Yeah, very good.
Following on in the same fashion for me, I thought the next one was great as well. It's,
Yeah.
V is for Vacation, another
Yeah.
almost
Oh, really good.
first-person found footage.
Yeah.
Sort of that
What I
style.
thought is that it would have fitted really, really well in VHS and then movies, and that
Right.
sort of feel to it as a standalone.
See, I put a couple of scumbag fucknuts get exactly what they deserve.
Yeah.
So you didn't enjoy it, or you did enjoy it?
Yeah, I did.
You did
I've
enjoy it,
put a really good
I
piece.
thought it had
Told
that
story,
feel
one of
to
my
it.
favourites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it had that sort of VHS sort of feel. It could have sat in there
Because
nicely.
it had
like,
the
if I watched
first-person footage
Yeah, if I
thing,
watched
yeah.
the new VHS now, I'd have gone, fucking hell, that would have sat there nicely. I wouldn't have known, It's that
Yeah,
sort
I
of-
think the thing for me, it was it started off really well and took a little bit of a turn, and then it turned back on itself, and then it turned again. I was
And a
like,
crazy
it kind
mother,
of- yeah,
I
it
should
took,
say.
took me on a ride. At the beginning, I was like, oh, what's kind of going on here? He's with his
Yeah.
bro, and then he catches the phone. Oh, he's going to dick around, and then it's like, oh, okay, they're doing a load
Did
of
you
drugs.
hate his bro from the off? though?
oh,
It's like,
yeah, of
you're
course.
a massive
You meant
cunt.
to,
I
weren't you?
completely
Like,
hate
you
him.
can't, yeah, you're supposed to hate him.
Yeah.
He was just jealous, I think, as well, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Just
that's the
pissed
thing.
off.
And
He was
obviously there was some
fucked
sort
up.
of like prior relationship.
Yeah,
there or
yeah,
whatever.
something's gone on
And I thought
there.
they got a lot out of it with the time that they
Yeah.
had, whether it was 5 or 6
It was a
minutes.
piece
really
that
did.
told its entire story in them
That's
few
the thing.
minutes, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, well done.
And then
Really
just
good.
it topped off with the guy just falling off the balcony.
Yeah.
And then
I thought it was going to say topped off with some old lady bush.
Oh no, like, what?
It was a little bit too much of that for me.
And then,
Too much nan vagina.
and then the daughter's like, oh mum, you
It's
killed
just the way
everybody
the camera was
again.
angled.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh mum, you killed everyone
But
again.
I thought it was a
sort of
really
thing.
good piece.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's really weird though. I wrote it down, and then at the end, after it had all done, I went back and I was going through them. I was like, The Vacation? What was that one? Then I had to remind myself which one it was, and I was like, oh yeah, I did really enjoy this one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought it was so awesome. Next up, we hinted to this in the trailer. I
Well
thought
done
it was,
for trolling us in the trailer.
yeah, that's the thing. We thought it was going to be Z,
Yeah.
Zorb.
Said, Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. It turns out it was W, and W was for Wish.
Yeah.
Now, I thought W was going to be for World of Zorb, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Just turns out to be Wish. This was bizarre,
Creepy.
different, creepy, comedic,
Very,
but
very
ultimately
creepy.
entertaining, I thought.
And the probably paedophilic fantasy man.
Yeah, that was strange where he
that's
like
what
takes the
creeped
kid
me
off.
out.
I mean,
Fantasy man.
Even the action figure, like, hey, I'm a fantasy man. I'm like, it's just an old bloke in pants. What's going on?
I mean, I like the feel because obviously when you're kids and you're playing with your toys, you reckon out them like scenarios.
You
where
wanna be in
do.
that world,
and you want to
don't
be
you?
in, and you're watching cartoons. You're like, oh, I want to
Yeah,
be in
yeah.
the Turtles and stuff. And then
Loved
obviously they go into it, and it's
just a
nothing
weird-
what you fucking want at all.
And it was directed by Steven Kostanski, who'd done a similar weird futuristic thing called
Yeah.
Manborg,
Yeah.
but he also directed Father's Day.
Oh,
I can't remember.
Father's Day.
Yeah,
was
I
awesome.
like that. film.
What about
That's a good film.
But I really liked
What is
it.
it? His friend goes with him, don't he? Along the way,
Yeah,
because he
his
wishes
mate.
he's like dies, don't he?
His mate gets zapped and turned like burnt bones.
And then just I think it did have that paedophilia sort of feel to it at the end.
paedophilia feel
When he
to
gets
it.
taken in a fucking sack home, don't he?
Yeah.
That
Get it in the sack.
paedophilia feel to it. There was Jimmy Savile, there was playing Rolf Harris numbers. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, really bizarre, but it's one of those things you just sit back and just go, I had no idea what's going on,
And the whole
but it's kind
fantasy
of
man
good,
doing
it
the whole,
looked
yeah.
good.
Get in the sack, kid. You'll be fine. Get in the sack. Like, he's a paedophile, don't do it.
He's got little pants on.
in the sack.
And the action figures in the advert was very 80s fired, I thought.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really is.
Was
really
that whole thing,
cool.
World of Zorb?
And then when because he's got that net, he throws a net over him, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was fucking
That
awesome.
net was hilarious, yeah. Really, really good. Really bizarre. Thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah.
Next up, X was for xylophone. Now, I compared this one to the X thing that you alluded to earlier, Joe, XXL, which was the girl cutting herself up. And this one definitely did not compare to that one.
Did you recognise
I really enjoyed it,
the
I really enjoyed it.
grandmother who was in it? Did you recognise the grandmother who was looking after the child?
No, I didn't know.
It was directed by Julian Maury and Alexandra Bossillo, who did Inside.
Oh, right.
That was the woman who was chasing the pregnant lady in that
okay,
film.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a really good
So
film.
they used
yeah.
the same actress.
No, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I really
It
did.
was alright. I thought it was very obvious. It was
Yeah.
really well made. I like the
Yeah.
gore at the stuff and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a bit of camera work and when she's playing xylophone.
Yeah, I thought that was just so
It's got to
dark.
score a point for ribcage xylophone.
Yeah, it was just so.
That scores a point for me.
It was just so fucking dark. That's what I loved
Yeah,
about it. It just sat there all happy.
I think they just needed to make the sound of the kid on the xylophone a bit more, add more reverb,
Yeah.
and just make it proper great.
Yeah.
Yeah, grating on you. It's like,
That's weird. Wasn't the XXL from ABCs of Death 1 French as well?
I think you're right.
They just
Yeah,
give the
yeah,
French guys X.
Yeah.
Figure it out,
I
Frenchies.
mean, yeah, XXL was amazing. It's
Yeah.
like- but no, I really enjoyed this one. I did, yeah.
Yeah. Next up was potentially one of the most bizarre ones, but we've
Yeah.
already seen
I
a
don't
few
know if
more
it was.
bizarre ones. Y
of.
was for youth. I
Yeah.
couldn't have
Yeah.
guessed what
No.
Y was for. I thought it might have been like a Japanese word like we've had before. But yeah, I thought it was quite clever, inventive, strange. Weren't too keen on the end. I thought it could have chopped it off earlier on, but
I didn't mind. I mean, what have I got? A girl pissed off at her crappy parents imagines them being destroyed by
abusive, isn't they?
whatever.
but like the way like things turned into
or being
different-
destroyed
Yeah.
by their own shortcomings in a way.
Yeah, like the
weird-
way like the guitar comes out of his
Yeah, all weird
neck,
shit,
and
that's
you know that
crazy.
the woman gets like kissed
Kissed
by
by
a penis. in
giant
it.
penis, and then the little sperm thing goes in her cheek. And,
Yeah, I thought it was just really quite sort of
weird.
bizarre.
Weird.
and a
in
giant
way,
hand
but-
comes out of a hoo-ha and sticks a middle finger up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, when he like.
I like this. You can say words like fuck, cunt, shit, piss, whatever, you know, and when it comes to something like, oh, hoo-ha.
yeah.
A giant hand come out of a vajayjay. A baby cannon.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was bizarre, but it was kind of cool.
They had that.
I think
Sort
these-
of, was
the-
it
the
was it
last-
Japanese or Chinese? I don't know what was it.
it was Japanese.
I think it's Japanese.
But it
Director
had
was
that crazy-
Soichi Umizawa.
It had
which
that.
sounds a
That
bit
crazy
more
feel to it, what
Yeah.
what you wouldn't expect.
I don't think
less.
he's directed anything
Nothing
before
less.
either.
No, because I thought it might be one of these big guys of the Japanese films that we like and that, you know, like the horror films. Like,
Yeah, I think he's. I can't. I've not written anything that in parentheses after his name. So
Any one of the letters that came up, as soon as I saw a Japanese person, I'm just thought about this is going to be fucked up. Just through past experience, I know they do fucked up shit.
Yeah, they just got a wild imagination, and they just
Yeah.
kind of take it into.
I've just remembered I have got a favourite.
Yeah.
Because we're getting there.
Well, yeah, I guess we're ending
guess it's
on
the
the
last one.
inevitable letter, Z, or
Yeah.
Z, as we like to say,
Zed, Sean.
which was zygote, which I don't know what zygote means, but this was
Isn't
fucking
it like a
awesome.
cell thing? Some kind of like a cellular...
Yeah,
So
maybe
you're
something to do with
It's,
that.
it's a goat what's half xylophone.
Are you sure it's not a goat that's half cyborg?
You play xylophone.
Joe's not going to be with us next week since we're doing a comedy act.
Joe's doing his stand-up act at
I
the
read
Angles
up
Theatre.
a line. I don't think there was a line. When
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I went on Wikipedia.
It's something to do with like a cellular organism.
Yeah.
I asked a man in a pub.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was fucking
I thought
awesome.
this
Yeah.
was
It
amazing.
was so dark.
The
man.
effects were so
The
good.
effects
though.
were incredible. I thought they were like
So
possibly
dark.
like it looked like they spent more than $5,000 on what they had. It
And
was
the director's
just,
called Chris Nash, which is a very normal name.
yeah.
Okay, I'll try to look up him and.
I think he's
don't
only
know,
done short movies, short little
Yeah,
short films.
English actor, I think.
Oh, Chubb's looking up Zygote.
Zygote is a diploid cell resulting from the fusion of two haploid gametes.
Oh, that makes much more sense.
Fertilised It's all science.
It's to do with the cell of the baby, I guess, combining with the one of the mother, because it's basically a
goat.
woman's pregnant, she's due to give birth, but her husband's going out.
Yeah.
And he
13
gives her
years.
some. Well, we don't know that at first, do we? She doesn't know
Fertilised
that.
ovum.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
that's what it ends up being.
he gives her some root to chew on that will suppress
Yeah.
giving birth, but then, yeah, like you said, he's gone for 13 years, and the baby has grown for those 13
Yeah.
years.
It's
Ridiculously.
It's so strange the way that the babies talk. Hey, mum.
Yeah, I know, it's so creepy.
When can
But
I
then when
come
she
out,
starts to be,
Mama?
I like the whole thing, like, she's like, oh, it hurts, and she's going, I'll hold you, mummy, and you see the hands going around the back, and it's
Yeah.
like, fucking
Looks
brilliant.
so good.
And then when she pushes all the
Innards out.
organs,
Yeah.
and,
And then
then
it
she
gets-
turns into the lady. It's like,
See the
what?
skin just flipping
Yeah.
onto her hands. And,
Yeah, it's like,
I just
what?
thought, however they did this, it was bloody genius.
Crazy effect.
Even if it did go a bit weird at the end when the dad got home,
Yeah.
and she's like, yeah, I've lost a baby. And like, well, we'll just have to make another one then. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's your daughter in
That's
your
your
wife's
daughter.
suit.
Technically, it's your daughter. That's
It's your
weird.
daughter in a wife suit.
Yeah. With this one, amazing effects, really interesting premise,
Yeah.
and I wanted to see so much more.
Yeah.
Whether it's from the director, whether it's more from this.
I'm hoping that he goes on to do bigger and better
I
stuff.
think
as
it
well.
was English guy.
Yeah.
Chris
I think-
Nash, which sounds very English.
Yeah.
It was because I sort of looked up online and I'm sure it said that man who was in it or something is acted in English programs or something. The the man who leaves his wife.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Really, really good. That was potentially one of my
Yeah, I
favourites on
just
there.
remembered I did have a favourite, and for me it was Zed.
Yeah.
Well, my favourite still was that helps,
Split?
don't it? Yeah, Split. Sorry, yeah, S.
Yeah.
S is for Split. I really
I've got
enjoyed
I've got a couple of favourites. P, joking. I really liked Vacation. I thought it was really, really good. I liked Zygote. Split was great as well. What's the other one that I really, really,
Badger.
really enjoyed?
Amateur.
Yeah, I like Badger, but I thought it was more just like that was cool, that was fun, I enjoyed it.
Jesus, I guess, was
Yeah,
another.
Jesus.
Yeah,
There was
I
a
think
lot of good ones.
that. Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
for me, a standout favourite for me would be Zed.
potentially Capital Punishment as well. I thought it had
Yeah.
a good feel to it, plenty of emotion.
But then the zombie courtroom thing, I just love that idea.
great premise, yeah.
Yeah, the premise was
A is for
amazing.
amateur, like so.
Yeah,
it's-
there was-
it's
yeah.
good,
It's hard to choose a favourite.
It really is.
So
yeah.
There was only two I didn't like, which was P and the scribbly people thing I
Yeah.
didn't like.
Head
That would,
games.
They were the two that were like, yeah, don't like those at all, and everything else was either okay or
Yeah.
fucking brilliant.
So that's the thing.
that was definitely me, an amateur. That'd be me. I'll get lost at the end. You know where the fuck I'm going.
Yeah, get your map
Help me,
out.
hello, people I'm supposed to kill. Can you help me, please?
Stuck in the air,
I'm stuck.
just catch
If you
my
wouldn't mind just
nail.
back-
If you
your own
don't
heads in.
mind,
Yeah.
Can you just shoot yourselves?
if you let me out, we'll start this all over again. I'll come hunt you.
I'll leave and start the end again.
Fucking mental. It's just because, like, obviously in action films, it's full on, isn't it? They always get the bad guy.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning, it's basically a montage, isn't it? It's like, yeah, go to the
It's
end.
just like you said
crawl
with symphony
through.
music.
Yeah, job done, job's a good un.
Yeah.
Big old beardy guy. Turns out he's a bit shit.
Lovely maggots in the mouth.
Yeah. Overall, I think going through it again has kind of cemented my preference for this particular movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I'm probably going to go back and watch the first one again
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
kind of reiterate myself. There's a lot that I can't quite remember. Like I
No.
couldn't remember what
E, wasn't it? We said
yeah,
it,
E. I
didn't
couldn't remember what E was.
Never.
There was another couple of good ones in ABC's of Death 1,
I
which
think
was
Dogfight was one of my
let's,
favourites.
Dogfight was
of the
great.
first one.
Libido
Yeah,
was
Libido
great.
was good.
XXL was great. There's a couple of other ones, just generally all round. I think I'd appreciate it more if I go back and watch it again, just to kind of get the feel for it, because that was kind of new for me. I'd not really watched any anthology horror movies.
It was new amongst anthology pieces for just doing like loads of short ones. Normally you get like 4 20-30 minute movies, like they do in VHS. So to have like, here's 26 5-minute films.
Yeah.
1 minute if you've done fucking, god damn it, Ty West. I'm not going to forgive you for M is for whatever.
You basically took $5,000
That was Ty West ones, wasn't it?
M is for menstruation.
Was it? A is for apocalypse.
One E, Joe.
No, the thing.
That stopped, didn't it?
No, it's alright, we're carrying on then. I'm just saying get to E. That's what our question is.
B is for B is for Bigfoot.
Yeah, I thought that was alright. Well, from what I can remember on the first movie.
Yeah, the bins got emptied and there was a big thing outside.
Bigfoot.
What'd you say, E?
We need E, that's what we couldn't.
D was a dog.
C is for Sequel.
That was alright.
That was the,
Yeah, I'll quite
Was the Times Crimes guy?
I think it was the
Times Crimes
E is
guy.
for Dog Food.
I'm the Times Crimes guy.
Oh, the suspense, Joe. I can't handle it.
It's because they're all stuck together. E is for Exterminate.
What's all stuck together?
Oh, I remember the guy had like
Amanda
a spider.
discovers a large black spider.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was directed by, it was a girl, I can't remember her name. She was in May, the film. Oh, fuck, I forgot her name.
Angela Bettis.
Angela Bettis, yeah. If you've not seen May, that's a really good film, check it out.
F is for Fat, obviously.
Yeah. G was Gravity.
Yeah, G was Gravity,
H was...
H was Hydroelectric Diffusion.
That was amazing. That was the,
that
was the weird like,
Nazi
fox.
swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, good stuff.
Anyway.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think we should do that more often. And as it's the 30th episode of the ChapterSkip podcast, nice for us to get together and just focus on one thing rather than, you know, some of us bringing a few different things and chatting about all the different movies we've seen. We can all have an opinion on 26 different movies we've seen this week. And if anyone's not got any other things to talk about, we can, I guess, wrap this podcast up. Is there anything that we can prepare for next week?
Homework?
Or shall we just come with a fresh perspective, each watch a movie and then give a review on anything we've chosen?
I've watched a new Dracula film. I guess I can try and retain that information for next week.
And I think Wolf Cop is out this week, so I shall be hunting that down as soon as
This week I watched Event Horizon, which I've never seen, and I
never seen
really
Event Horizon?
enjoyed
That
it.
is a
It had a
fucking
Hellraiser feel to it, I thought, at the end, and it was influenced by
incredible
Hellraiser when I read the trivia about it. I watched See No Evil 2 with Kane, the wrestler.
I saw the first one,
Fucking shit. That's made by the Twisted Sisters or whatever they're called.
is it?
Them two
Saucer
sisters.
Sisters.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
made by them. It's shit.
I can't remember the first one, though. Didn't he have a hook or something?
Yeah.
I can remember that. 'cause
This
he's holding
one,
it on the cover.
this one, it's straight from the film. It's fucking, what is it, 8 years later, and he ends up in the morgue, and the people who are at the morgue, he wakes up.
As we're talking about films, do you want to hear a bit more film news? Or should we cut it and leave that for another week?
Yeah, I think we'll leave it as just an ABC's of Death 2 review and in-depth kind of
Stay
spoiler
tuned next
cast.
week for information on Lego movie sequels and spin-offs.
Woohoo! And we'll bring you that next week on the ChapterSkip Podcast YouTube channel. In the meantime and in between time, if you've seen ABCs of Death 2, then definitely let us know what you thought about each individual letter. You can hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/ChapterSkip, on Twitter @ChapterSkip, on the email chapterskip@gmail.com, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ChapterSkip and ChapterSkip Podcast. You can leave us a comment down below and we can have a little bit of a conversation on what you thought was the favourite entry in the ABCs of Death 2, and we can retort and have a little conversation. So, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys again next time. On behalf of ChapterSkip, I'm Sean.
I'm Chad.
I'm Mark.
I'm Joe.
Bye!